What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another Vitoverse. How y'all feeling this week? It is episode 25. Thank you guys for supporting this channel for 25 episodes. You know, I got more videos than that, but as far as the Vitoverse, man, it's amazing to say I'm on episode 25. That's crazy. I got my co-host here with me, Sandstorm. What's cracking?
Oh, not much. I was even backstage, I was kind of doing this. But I am looking at the Legends of Dragoon. This is the official one. Mine came with a manual, which is something that I don't know, kids today don't know about games coming with manuals. But anyway, this is a Square Enix game. I know this is like really off topic, but I like turned the page and I was like, interesting. Um, Square Enix is more or less known for giving women assets, if you will. And one of the main characters in here is a girl, and can, can you see that?
Oh yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
She is without any assets, and I was
Right.
like, "Is this a?" No, she's definitely not a guy. You in the story, you can tell she's definitely not a guy.
She got that Jada Pickett.
But I'm like, when did they make them planky like that? I don't know. Anyway, I'm doing great. How y'all doing?
Good. Hey, so I got my second co-host here with me. Noto, what's cracking?
What's up, guys? What's up, everyone?
So, what's new with you guys? We're gonna start with a little icebreaker and stuff. What's new with you guys since I did not do my Vito variants, which is my video game segment? I'm just gonna start off by asking you guys, what are you guys playing? What's new? I'm gonna start off with Noto.
Right now I'm actually, like I said, I've already started my stream and stuff, so I've actually worked on the what was I playing yesterday? Valkyrie Profile. Actually, I got stuck at a certain part right now, so I had to kind of figure out what the heck I need to do because these enemies the bosses I'm facing, I'm basically doing like 1 to 0 damage, and I need to figure out what's going on. So I'm trying to prevent myself from using weapons that basically have a 5% break the weapon. So yeah. I'm trying not to, but it seems like it's trying to force my hand to do it. So that's what I'm actually playing right now, and I'll be streaming that tomorrow as well.
Gotcha. Cool. All right, Sandstorm was cracking over there at the Sandcastle.
Sand Tomb.
Oh, okay, Sandtomb. There we go.
So I'm on a healthy rotation of Diablo 4, like I showed off, Legends of Dragoon, Star Ocean, and Parasite Eve. I try and play one of those. And Zelda. I try and play one of those games every day in rotation because all of them are really good games and they all are fundamentally different for the most part. Diablo 4 just started its first season, so kind of cracking into that. Still a great game. Still has some bugs, but Legend of Dragoon is that's classic. I would argue that is probably up there with one of Square Enix's best titles. And they really need to make a second one. The only problem is it's in trademark. Is that the word I'm looking for? Trademark limbo. Yeah.
Okay.
With PlayStation, which is ironic because everybody wants PlayStation by Square Enix, and that's a whole thing. But anyway. And then the other two games are also Square Enix games. Star Ocean, I've already talked about, and Parasite Eve, I've already talked about. But both of those, all of those games are really good games, really good classics. If you own a PlayStation 5 and you have PlayStation Plus, I believe both Parasite Eve and Legends of Dragoon are on there. Legends of Dragoon, definitely.
Yes.
Okay.
But Parasite Eve, I don't know because that's. Is it Square? It's Square Soft, and that gets a little murky. Yeah, because that's also side note. That's also part of that group. Ended up becoming what's the Nintendo group? Monolith. Monolith ended up moving to Bandai Namco, and they made a whole what is the game? Xeno game, 3 Xeno games over there, and then Nintendo bought them.
Xenoblade.
Yeah, because Saga. They made
Yeah.
Saga, Bandai and Androids. So like Nintendo really can't like make a Xenogears game because it's like in limbo with like Square and Sony, so it's like a weird thing. So, but yeah, this I think SquareSoft with that game is another one. But the only reason why Legends of Dragoon is in there is because Sony like personally published that game. So
Mm.
yeah, but yeah, that's all I'm playing.
Okay, cool, cool. For me, just a lot of Xbox Live, just messing around. Still
Did
in
you
the
pick up
FIFA.
any old CODs? I didn't mean to make anybody mad. I was just, but like that's what everybody's talking about is like picking up the old Call of Duties.
Nah.
Okay,
You know what's
okay.
crazy? I I, I was tempted to mess around with one of the Black Ops, and then I was like,
I
nah.
mean, they're gonna be as what's the word? Not glitchy. What's the word? Where like people find these glitches and like cheese. Is that the new word? Cheesing? Like they
Yeah.
Cheesing.
Pretty much.
yeah, like they cheese the heck out of the game. They find the like right sniper spots where you can't hit them, but they can hit you.
Right.
They ain't changed those type of maps. That ain't changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah. I didn't mess around with all that type of stuff. I'm really not a Call of Duty fan. You know
Oh,
what I
I
mean?
feel it.
So,
I feel it.
you know what I mean? So, I try to be different on my games. Actually, Sandstorm, you know this for a long time. Like I wasn't a big fan of first person shooters
Hmm.
for the longest. So, of course, my what made me kind of break down was Far Cry in the first place.
Oh, yeah.
So, that will be my go to as far as my first person shooter. But yeah, nah. But no, I've been on the FIFA tip, especially since it's the Women's World Cup next week, I believe, or
No, it's this week. It just
this week.
yeah, it just started today actually.
Okay, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. So, like, yep, you're right. So, haven't caught any group games yet, but I'm definitely going to catch myself up. With my ESPN Plus and all this other stuff. So, I think I was messing around with just some other stuff on there. Like I played Lucky Tales for some reason. I
Ooh,
was
was
messing
that
around
good?
with
Did you
that.
like it?
Wow.
It reminded me of like a Spiral or something like that, and
Yep.
it actually kind of just brought back like old memories and stuff. That that's definitely a pretty cool
Yeah,
game.
it's a good game. It's a good
Yeah,
game.
yeah. So I messed around with that, and then there was something else I messed around on the cloud with. I think it was a RPG. I can't remember what the name was. It has like this one like girl in like a light blue dress or shirt or whatever like that in front of it or whatever. It deals with like the man, I forgot the those guys, the seven. What are those guys up in the Wukong story? You know what I'm talking
Oh
about?
yeah. Nope, I cannot. I
I
cannot
can't think of their
refresh.
names, but it
Was it
deals
an
with that.
Xbox exclusive?
No, hell no, it's everywhere.
It's an RPG,
I was about
right?
to
Yeah,
say.
it's an
I was about
RPG.
to say. Wait a minute.
No, you know, Xbox not doing pulling off moves like that. But
Right.
whatever it was, I'll think of the name a little later or whatever. But just trying some stuff on my Xbox Live. You know what I mean? So that's just my gaming right now. You know what I'm saying? So nothing big, nothing major. But all right, so let's get into today's situation now. Over the last couple hours, I believe, on Twitter, what's been trending, which I knew about this actually Wednesday because it was said it was going to release, right after episode 5 of Secret Invasions,
Hmm.
is the upcoming the Marvels movie. So they had that trailer that dropped in the last, I believe, 24 hours or so, and it's been going crazy evidently, and people have been talking about it. So we're going to actually take a look at that today and make sure that the hype is worth it. You know what I mean? So let's get right into it. Let's skip all those formalities and let's go.
Carol Danvers, prodigal child of the Milky Way.
Nick Fury, my favorite one-eyed man of intrigue.
How goes it out there?
Cold, no air, space.
Captain Marvel, the Annihilator. You took everything from me. And now I'm returning the favor.
Pause. Pause. Pause.
Yeah.
Okay.
Took everything from me. And now I'm returning the favor.
Yeah, it's another bracelet.
That's the other bracelet.
Yeah.
That they are the Jinn.
Pretty sure she puts it on the opposite hand too.
Yeah. That's okay. Yeah, they get into the meat and potatoes. Okay, I see where the hype comes from. Let's get it.
Oh no, it's the same hand.
What is happening to me? She's entangled our light-based powers.
So we switch places whenever we use them.
Strong theory.
You can absorb light,
I can see it.
and Kamala.
Who's Kamala? Hi. She can turn light into physical matter, which I have never heard of.
I could totally show you.
No!
She's targeting every planet we call home. I would never choose to bring anybody into this.
You are not the only thing standing between this and the universe.
Oh my god, we're a team.
Higher.
Further. Faster.
Who's that good kitty, Gus?
I can't. Can you?
I got it.
All right, all right. So let me pause that real quick. Thoughts? We're gonna start off with let's start off with Sandstorm.
Like I said, I saw this trailer already, but I mean, it looks exciting. I was already gonna go see it anyway, so they didn't really have to give me a second trailer to make me go to like entice me. But yeah, there's a lot to pick apart from here. I'm glad that they gave what's her name, like she's fully recognized her powers, even though we haven't seen her since WandaVision. So I think that's pretty cool that she's fully enveloped in it. I definitely thought that they were gonna have her go a kind of a different direction. I thought she was gonna be the replacement for Danvers. I mean, I guess that's still a possibility. At some point, she has to leave, right? Danvers has to not be in. Everybody else is left. Like everybody else is gone.
Yeah.
So like at some point, I guess she has to be the next up. So maybe this is it. But as far as the trailer itself, like I think this movie is gonna have a lot of action, but I think the funniest moments are probably gonna be when they can't really figure out like the switch, like whenever they use the powers and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna get sweet though. I think when they finally figure it out and they use the teamwork, I think the combos are gonna be really dope. But before then, I think it's just gonna be real silly every time they're trying to use powers and somebody switches off.
Yeah. That's gonna be crazy. All right, so Noto, what's your thoughts?
Like I said, I already seen this trailer. Basically, after I woke up from my nap and everything from watching something else. But I do agree with Sandstorm as well. I think the funny parts are going to be when them actually try to get used to their powers and
Mhm.
still trying to figure it out. But it's going to have a lot of action. My thing I can say is I do agree with also the thing with Sandstorm about Devers is supposed to take over, but I think we haven't. I think we might get another movie just with just by herself,
Mm.
and I think that's when we will find out because that's what happened with well, I would say this that's what promised him like how we had the Avengers and Black Panther and different things like that. So I think there's gonna be like one other movie that kind of sets it up for someone to take over. So that's my opinion. But I definitely am looking forward to watch this movie, especially since it's going to be 3 days before my birthday. So that's
Mm.
more stuff add on to my birthday of stuff to watch for that
Right.
complete week. I'm like, yo, I'm already got games and movies. So what else can you throw at me? Come on, help me out
Right.
here. So that's my opinion. I think it's going to be a great movie. So I'm actually prepared for it.
Sweet, sweet. Well, unlike y'all, that was my first time. So I was excited. That was crazy. Like the bangle and all this other stuff. I'm like, who is that girl right there? Is she Cree? Is she like what's up with her? Is she a Jin? The Cree's back, evidently. Um, the Flarkins. There's a whole bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think the biggest question will be, how is this going to tie? Like, how is Secret Invasion going to tie this in? Like, how are they going to tie? Like, when does this actually happen? Does this happen after Secret Invasion or before Secret Invasion? It just kind of has me wondering. Like, is this before Nick came down? It has to be after because he has his eye patch. Or the question is that Nick Fury? Is he, is he
The
a
real
scroll?
Nick Fury?
Yeah, is he a real Nick Fury? So it's like, how is that even, working right now? Because the last time we seen Monica Rambeau, of course, it was at the end of WandaVision, and she was headed up to Saber with the scroll, which I was assuming was, I don't know why I assumed it was Talos's wife, but I guess it's somebody else. But regardless, it's like, how is this going to play out? As far as like, the scroll situation, because the scrolls have everything to do with the Marvels. So I'm kind of surprised so far within that series that Monica or somebody has not shown up. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with the Marvels. So you know what I mean. So we'll figure all that out. I was
Is there
hoping.
is there anything that's supposed to come in between these two? Is there another?
Nah, this it. This it.
So after Secret Invasion, it's just going to be a couple months of nothing, and then we go into this.
Yeah, because of course there's that strike going on, so a lot of things got pushed
Right.
back.
Okay. So then maybe I mean we haven't gotten to the end of Secret Wars yet, so maybe there's a like brief lead in to.
Oh yeah,
I
no
mean,
doubt.
if this is after Secret Wars, of course, but
Secret Invasion.
or
Yeah.
Secret Invasion. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
But then
Well,
also, we were supposed to, which we still don't know when we're supposed to get it, which is the Loki series is supposed to come back again for the second
Oh
season.
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So if we've seen like the other movies like Ant-Man, the Quantum Theory and stuff like that, pretty much remember at the very end of it, Loki
Mm-hmm.
was there, so it sets up again for the series. So
right,
Yeah,
we already
right.
have this, but we don't know when we're getting it.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So
Well, actually, I was thinking it will connect into, of course, the Marvels. Actually, I forgot about the Marvels. To be honest, I actually think it was going to be connecting into New World Order. That's the fourth Captain America film set to come out. So
yeah.
that's definitely in the thought processes when you're thinking about this, because we're talking about a U.S. president, and of course, it's been rumored that Harrison Ford is coming in as Thaddeus Ross, and he's supposed to be playing the Red Hawk and president and all this other stuff. Also, to the Thunderbolts, I thought it was going to possibly tie into that. So we have a couple of properties that this could tie into, but by them dropping that trailer of Mrs. Marvel, it only makes sense for it to, kind of tie into Mrs. Marvel and stuff. So that's the closest thing that we have. All the rest of the stuff is set for next year. I think Thunderbolts is set for Actually, I think they got pushed back. But New World Order is in the works, and I think we're supposed to get something about it next year, or later on this year, as far as like a trailer or something like that, or some official news. So hopefully they do this justice. I mean, they haven't been hitting every target, every release so far. Ant-Man really didn't get good reviews, and neither did the Thor Love and Thunder. That didn't get too many good reviews. Only thing that was saving their tail right now was the Guardians of the Galaxy, which that's a great go-to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
and it came to an end too. So
yeah.
Yep.
And we got a new team out of that too. So it's not going to keep picking up with Peter Quill and everybody. We have a new adventure with them, so that's pretty cool. So, all right, so let's get to our next trailer. Now, this is a movie that came out I don't want to say today, but it came out, and it's been all over Twitter. It's been all over YouTube and just everywhere. Matter of fact, I saw a commercial on it, and I didn't even know this movie existed. But it made me sit up here and say, "Hey, hold on, where was I? Was I on Earth when this happened? Like when they dropped this?" So we're gonna take a look at Oppenheimer. Is that what it's called? I think. Yeah, Oppenheimer. So this is a 3-minute trailer, so I'm probably not going to be doing any stopping in between this one. But definitely, we'll give our thoughts at the end of this.
This is a national emergency.
Detonator charged.
We're in a race against the Nazis. And I know what it means if the Nazis have a bomb.
We have a 12-month head start.
18.
How could you possibly know that?
We've got one hope. All America's industrial might and scientific innovation connected here. A secret laboratory. Keep everyone there until it's done.
Let's go recruit some scientists.
Build a town, build it fast. If we don't let scientists bring their families, we'll never get the best.
Why would we go to the middle of nowhere for who knows how long?
Why? Why? How about because this is the most important thing to ever happen in the history of the world?
You're the great improviser, but this you can't do in your head.
Are we saying there's a chance that when we push that button, we destroy the world?
Chances are near zero.
Near zero.
What do you want from theory alone?
0 would be nice.
This is a matter of life and death. But I can perform this miracle.
World War II would be over. Our boys would come home.
That's happening, isn't it?
The world will remember this day. Our work here will ensure a peace mankind has never seen. Until somebody builds a bigger one.
You are the man who gave them the power to destroy themselves. And the world is not prepared.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Truman needs to know what's next.
2.
What's next?
1.
What the heck?
Recently, and for no reason.
All right, guys. So, what's your thoughts on that?
You want me to
Anybody go.
Okay.
Anybody go. Yeah,
So like I said, I didn't say it front stage, but backstage. I've seen this. I saw this trailer last year. Um, going to watch um Top Gun Maverick. And the first time I saw this, I was like, "Oh my gosh, they're actually making a movie about this." And like the tension in there is just absolutely absurd. Actually, I had a friend at my old job. He was the one who kind of like told me about the movie before, and just kind of seeing the reactions on their face, and like he said, like, what happens if you push the button? Like, and they're like, we have no idea. Like, we made this bomb, and it could potentially destroy the world. Now, this is the atomic bomb, if I'm not mistaken. So this is the one. This is one and the same that they dropped on Hiroshima,
Yep.
if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Yep.
So it wasn't actually for the Nazis, but it really was, a race, during that time, the war race to advance technology while they're building all these destroying machines and stuff like that. And literally, that was like they kind of said in the thing, like that was like the biggest afterpiece that the world really ever seen after that point. Because once we dropped the bomb on Hiroshima, it was just like, yo, the war is pretty much done. Like, there's not really anybody else competing at that point. So
Yeah.
just to watch a movie based on them, not because we're all three of us are too young to have gone through that moment, but just the experience, just kind of getting a glimpse of the experience of like how this all came about. You saw Albert Einstein, and everybody knows him, iconic,
Yeah.
iconic guy. And just watching them put all their heads together, and you can even see in his face is like,
This is no. You might not. No.
like, is this what we really doing? Because I don't know if I want to be a part of it. So it's yeah, it came out. It came out today.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I won't. I want to see it in movie theaters, and I think actually it's going to be. It said IMAX, but I'm pretty sure my movie theater was IMAX 3D. So I definitely want to watch it, like in its fullest, and see that explosion and everything, and how, because that's radioactive. Like that's something that people forget is also radioactive. So like that's like they blew them, like he said, they blew themselves up,
Hmm.
and a test experiment. They pretty
Yeah.
much killed their
Yeah.
whole family type deal. So it's
Yeah.
just to see that and on the big screen, and is Christopher Nolan, amazing producer. We got, I always forget his name, as the main character. Um, and we got Matt Damon in there just doing his thing. Like, it's yeah,
Yeah.
this is gonna be serious, man.
Got Robert Downey Jr. in there as well.
Yeah, and I swore in that small little glimpse was that what's her name? Black Widow chick.
Oh, Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlet.
Scarlett Johansson. Yeah,
Yeah.
it looked like
Hmm.
she was like the girl or whatever who was kind of like sitting there with her hands,
Yeah.
looked up.
Yeah.
It kind of looked like her. So the cast is going to be serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, all around. I would not be surprised if this was like a Emmy award winner.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. All right, Dodo. What about you, man?
Oh dear Lord! Like, so this is actually my first time seeing the trailer, so I'm like kind of holy shit! What the? So excuse my French, but holy, what the heck's going on? Like this, but again, like you said, it's we were too young for this situation to understand this, but I mean, it I don't even know how to even describe it. Good Lord, mercy. How I can describe it, I'm lost for words for this. That's how I feel right now. Like, I really think this is actually really gonna be a good movie, and because of the fact of like this is based on, like I said, the story of the atomic bomb. So us not knowing it when we're younger, didn't know what was going on, so it's kind of like, yeah, it's no wonder why all my friends are like, want to definitely check this out because, like I said, I've never seen the trailer. But I'm sorry, the first thing I heard them say was Barbie, and I'm like, I'm not gonna go see Barbie. I'm sorry, but they threw that, and it's like, yeah, we're gonna do double feature. We're gonna see that. We're gonna see Barbie and Hiroshima. I'm like, the first thing in my head is, I'm not. But if you just said that one, maybe I'll go. But right now, I'm like, I do want to see it, but I'm not in a big hurry for it right now at the moment. So I'm gonna like kind of chill and go from there.
Isn't it kind of crazy, real quick? Isn't it kind of crazy how, and at least I would say, in my school at the time, but we talked about the world, World War II and all that other stuff, and I almost feel like that whole bombing of Hiroshima was just kind of like glossed over. Like, yeah, and we bombed Hiroshima, and that was kind of, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like, obviously,
like a big deal. Like
yeah. Like it. I mean, obviously, it was a big deal, because that literally stopped Japan in its tracks. But it was like, it was just kind of like, you know what I mean? And this happened,
Just
so
like a little trickle, like
yeah.
But like the way they show it and the way like the tension and everything that's built up in it is just like, oh, okay, this is like y'all were for real. Like,
yeah.
Y'all was shaking in y'all boots while making this. So okay.
Yeah. This makes me just I'm excited. I'm always a history nerd, you know what I'm saying? I love, digging deep into the past, just kind of see why we're at the, where we're at, you know what I'm saying? So this is definitely a movie it's a must see. I feel it's very educational. And it just explains, like you said, their thought process, what was going on. Y'all was scared making this, I would be too. We're talking about the power of the sun, so and it's kind of crazy that or it's kind of cool that they on the trailer they actually show like glimpses of like the nucleus or whatever like that, but it kind of looked like a sun and it looks like it's whatever. That's definitely, man, it's a scary topic. We're right now at a standstill right now in real time, in real life, with nuclear threats and talking about World War III, and of course nuclear is 100 times worse than that atomic.
Right.
So that just it kind of brings a little more realism to what's going on right now. Art imitates life. So definitely that trailer, as you can tell on my face right now, it really messed me up. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely a movie I definitely need to see because I didn't think we were gonna get any good work like that this year. You know what I'm saying? Like that to me is for me a surprise. Sandstorm, you mentioned you watched the trailer when you went to see Top Gun. It's this honestly, I didn't think we were going to get any type of good movies. Like honestly, this is it. So it actually too it makes you wonder, like, this is the reason for Godzilla and stuff like that. Like honestly, like when you said when they like this is literally the creation of Godzilla. Like the reason why we have Godzilla is because of these fools over here making this bomb, and they dropped it on Hiroshima and stuff like that. So now we get to see they were scared too. They didn't know what they were doing. They were just making this, and seeing Albert Einstein is, oh man, I can only imagine like in real life how scared he was. Like, yeah, I came up with this equation, figured this out and figured that out, but I didn't want you to do this. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like that to me, just I really want to see what was on people's minds. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, just to see him, like they just caught him fit. He was in the middle of fishing. He
little hat blew off. He was,
and they said the wrong words to him, and he was like,
"Who?
Who?
Yeah, exactly.
Like I'm Jeff Einstein. I'm not the right one.
Exactly.
What is this? When he was German, right? What is this?
Yeah.
So So with that being said, by this being a good, movie of this year, sadly, our actors don't feel the same way as far as their, how they're being treated. Neither is the writer. So now we're underneath a strike, a actors and writers strike. You know what I mean? They're protesting. There hasn't been anything in production as of late, just because of the writers, and now the actors are right along with it. There's rumors of why this strike is going on, but I just want to kind of hear you guys' thoughts on what do you think is going on. There's several cases of they're scared that AI may take over, or they're not getting paid properly. Why do you think this is such a big thing, and why is this going to affect our entertainment in the future? I'm gonna start with Noto.
I think it's mostly going to be no, not getting paid enough because what I heard so far is mostly been writers not getting paid enough because like when you think about it, it look at it like for comedians as well. Sometimes comedians have to come up with their own stuff, but then when you have writers to also do it as well to help out like Saturday Night Live and other comedians and stuff that do stuff on, you see on YouTube or on CBS and stuff like that. It's, they get their materials, but sometimes they get the help from the writers. So I really think it's more of like a profit kind of situation than AI because right now, from what I'm hearing with the AI situation, like, it's more of like, they're saying trying to take our jobs, but I don't think it's really trying to take like the writers and stuff, even though we are hearing some stuff with music where people are using AI to do other people's music, like try to say like, hey, this is like Eminem actually rapping with, but it's AI, but it's not really him, and it's that's just for example, but I don't really see that happening with writers and for movie actors and stuff, but I really think it's more of like a money issue situation that they're not getting paid enough. And from looking at the award shows, it's literally been more focused on not getting paid enough and different things like that. That's kind of like where I'm leaning at more than just the AI situation.
Okay. Sandstorm, what's your thoughts on that?
So I think honestly, because I'm in agreement with Noto, but I'm gonna push it a little bit further. I think they're all connected in some sort of way. Um, but it's mostly to do with kind of the economical standpoint of America in itself, and how I won't say necessarily it's not even COVID, because even if COVID wouldn't have happened, I still feel like this would have happened at some point. The problem
Agree.
is that technology has come to a point where the cost versus what is being paid out of it is not the same as what the profit is. And so what I mean by that is like if you look at let's talk about Marvel. Let's look at Marvel for example. So you got all these big names, all these big actors in the early 2000s. We're talking about Robert Downey Jr., the whole cast, all of them. They're all, because of Avengers, they're all A ranked actors and
Actors.
actresses, right? And because the budget of those movies were a lot lower because of you're talking about special effects, um, the AI parts and all that other stuff that get put into them, the gross or the profit for those movies are a lot higher, which means they can pay them a lot more, right? But we've come to a point where now, in order to make those movies, we have to make a lot more AI. People want more action. We need a lot more of these visual effects and all this other stuff. And we're paying these people this much to make them, and we still have to pay writers and stuff like that to be able to write these things. And these actors want even more because they see how well these movies are grossing, and they want to get paid what they deserve. And I'm not saying that they don't deserve that payment. They truly do. But from a Netflix standpoint, from a Disney standpoint, like they only make so much money out of it, and it's like, and they're kind of in the situation where it's like, yeah, okay, we understand you want to get this money, but like we want to get this money too, and we're the ones who are making the whole thing happen in the first place. So we kind of need our money, and we're not going to pay you that money, and then it just kind of falls. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't fall in place. It falls and comes back to the top as a problem. So it's like, okay, we need this money, so we're not going to pay you. Actors are like, all right, we're not going to be in these movies. Then we're going to strike. Writers are like, all right, well, writers first are going to be like, all right, well, we're not going to write for it. We're strike. And actors are like, all right, I'm not going to come up with my own stuff. That's what you pay the writers to do. So we're not going to do it. So then the top is like, okay, then we'll try and figure out some sort of way where we can have some sort of AI or something to replace this way. Then it goes back up to the top. Hey, we're making all this, we're spending all this money trying to do all this AI stuff, and we need our money. So we can't pay you writers to do all this stuff. And it just
Right.
kind of keeps, it can't kind of keeps moving in a similar circle.
Yeah.
And we talk about Netflix. Netflix had their annual report.
Mhm.
And it sounded like they were out of all of them, you know, between Netflix, Discovery, HBO, Paramount. It sounded like they were doing the best, which you would probably think they would because they were really the ones who really started this whole streaming service in the first place, or made it
Right.
big. Maybe not have started it, but made it big.
Right.
Um, they the reason why they've been doing so well is in two parts. They have independent people coming in and doing their own thing, so they're not liable to have to pay for their, you know, their technology or anything that they're using in their movies. All they're doing is really just publishing for them and putting their content on their stuff. And people, I don't care what you say, people like those odds and end type of movies that actually end up being dope. Um, they've got they've gotten rights to certain anime things, and you know there's anime heads all around. You know the Bleach movie did really well. You know they got Full Metal Alchemist, and they're still doing that kind of stuff. They have The Witcher now, and they've been doing that, which you know obviously they're moving over on actors, and that's the whole thing too.
Yeah.
But but they have a process that they understand. That they can stick to. And when we talk about those small independent stuff that end up being big, Black Mirror was one. What is the other one? The box, the one with the box, Bird Box.
Bird
Bird
Box.
Box
Yeah.
ended
Yeah.
up being one. Squid Games ended up being one. Those are the ones they know where their lane is, so they don't have a problem if things start to shift a little bit. To be like, okay, we see you. This looks like it has potential, so we're going to move this in front of everybody's faces and call it popular, and everybody starts doing it. It becomes more of a problem when you have things like Disney, who is like, okay, we have this dedicated franchises, you know, Star Wars, Mickey Mouse, you
Marvel.
know, yeah, Marvel, like all these big names, and yeah, those can guarantee you money, but they're not going to guarantee you the same list of actors that you've been seeing. Like that, and that's what the problem is for them. That's their biggest problem. And same with Paramount and everybody else. Everybody has like a big franchise name, you know, Star Trek, for instance, you know, a big franchise name, and the franchise itself will sell you. But the problem is you got to get the actors to be in that franchise. So
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing. Will it ever come to a head? It could. They just those other companies have to be really smart about how they play it. Like, you know what I mean? Like maybe not always go external for writers. Like
Right.
you have try Pixar out for once. Hey, you're making a live movie. Do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Um, they it's possible. They have to be willing to work outside of what
Box.
the norm is. Yeah, they got to be outside the box to make it work.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm echoing all of that. Matter of fact, you actually hit some of the points I was going to say anyway. So I ain't gonna repeat all that. But yeah, so I definitely feel it's just that whole, like, all of it kind of contributes and piggybacks off each other. I think I don't think it's just all just one thing. It's the streaming service contracts and the streaming service situations, and it's also the production situation when it comes down to like writers and who's going to do what, and then, okay, since you're not going to do that, or this sucks, I'm going to use this AI real quick, blah blah blah. I actually heard of I heard a story about an AI that did a particular episode of a Marvel show. I can't remember which one it was, but it totally wrote the whole show, and that was actually the best show of that season. So that alone kind of makes me wonder, like, we got a problem, we got an issue. And of course, when it comes down to like pay and all this other stuff, I think my whole thought process, or from what I thought was actually happening, was the opposite of what's going on in the music industry. If you notice, the artists are getting paid and being able to get paid without the backing of those like big companies, and they cannot, like, these companies or these record labels cannot get a grasp on, we need this money. Like, where's this money going? Oh snap, it's going straight to the artist. Oh, they can get paid from this and that and the third, blah blah blah. They haven't signed it, that it doesn't breach their contract with us. Like, what I'm saying, it just, it's so many levels with that, where the music industry, all the big companies can't get a hold of it, and what I'm saying, these artists are getting paid. I feel like it's the opposite for the entertainment, what I'm saying, the TV world and stuff like that. It's the opposite. The big companies are actually benefiting from the streaming and all this other stuff, and the actors are the ones that's being lowballed. So it's always going to be a pyramid effect. What I'm saying, the higher ups, lower ups, middle end. What I'm saying, there's always going to be a pyramid effect with that. Now,
real quickly, one thing I gotta say, because I did say it was a economical thing, and this actually does have to deal with COVID, is the fact that the market of the world for everything has increased while the pay of everything has stayed the same. And so because of that, like, it's a fact. Not as many people are going to the movie theaters where these movies are being played and stuff like that, because the price of everything has increased. Not the movies themselves, but food, gas, like all this other living lifestyle things. And because of that, you're not seeing the same turnover and profit off of those, and they have to depend on these streaming services. But the streaming services, for the most part, have stayed the same in how much they cost. So if you're increasing the budget to make the movie, but the pay to watch that movie has still stayed the same, you have to, somewhere there, you're going to have to make a profit, and somebody's going to get cut out. And I think that's also the problem too.
Yeah, definitely. And then that was the whole issue with Scarlett and her.
That was the biggest issue with her.
Yeah. So we'll see what they'll do in the next couple of months. You know what I'm saying? It's probably going to put it.
Or we ain't gonna have no movies for 2024.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of these projects are gonna be pushed back even further. So we'll see what happens, man. But in the midst of all that, we talked about Disney. Disney has been having a roller coaster type of last couple of years, and a couple of their properties are starting to lose traction. One never really picked up the traction it was supposed to, but it's been kind of having things that's been letting it hold on for this time. speaking of Star Wars, um, Lucasfilm, Marvel, all of these properties, they've been kind of holding Disney up for pretty much their main cash cow right now. So,
Mhm.
but we've seen they've had like this up and down situation going on now. Um, Bob Iger. He used to be the CEO. Now he left. I think he retired or something like that, and then he actually came back recently. I think last week or so, or or 2 weeks ago or something like that. But he came back, and since he's been gone, both of those properties, like I was mentioning, they were going kind of down. You know what I'm saying? Now that he's back, he's trying to clean up house, and a couple of rumors that we've been having. Certain people at these studios are being fired. I hope one of them is true because we need her up out of there.
Put somebody else in there. Get her out of Star Wars.
Exactly, exactly. So, but one of the biggest controversial topics going on right now is Bob Iger is possibly thinking about selling Disney to Apple. Now, this will be a very big move, but the question to you guys and to people watching this, is it a smart move? So I'm gonna start off with Noto.
Hmm. That's a tough call. Um, I feel like it might be a good move. To my opinion, I don't see anything bad with it. Like I said, like we were talking in the backstage about this and everything else. And I'm gonna kind of piggyback off of Sandstorm. I agree with this one. That with him actually doing this, it actually will be a smart move because of the fact of like with Apple, they're always like on point with their products. They're always on point. There's nothing wrong with them or anything else. It's always been, once something goes wrong, they always clean up their mess. They always fix the problems. So I think it will be a smart move for them to do that, or for him to do it. I just don't see anything wrong whatsoever. So that's what I think right there. That's all I know.
Okay. Sandstorm.
So there's a lot of interesting plays here to make this happen. It almost feels like if this comes true, it's almost like an NBA draft in ways because they have to because Apple, there's what is it's Apple, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, I think.
Yeah, Microsoft's in there.
Yeah.
But they have to make smart plays in order to get what they want.
Right.
True.
And so
Oh,
solely
Sony's in
by
there too. Sony's in there
Oh
too.
yeah, that's right.
yeah,
I forgot about Sony.
to a lesser degree because they don't make Microsoft and Apple money, or
Yeah.
definitely not Google money. But but they But in order to get what they want, they have to make smart plays in order to get it. Because if they do it straightforward, it ends up becoming a monopoly, and then it starts to be a real like, and you can't. That's still a law. Like you can't monopolize. So in order for them to get Disney the way they want it, they would have to sell off. I believe it's ESPN to somebody else.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Oh.
Yeah, and it may be. I don't know about Hulu. There hasn't been talks about Hulu too, but ESPN is definitely one of those ones because then Apple would own ESPN, Hulu, and Disney at the same time, and that's
Yep.
like that. That starts to become a monopoly because now you have three streaming services. Well, technically four streaming services off
Right.
of one.
Right.
Um, so so but with that being said, if we're looking at it, that would be a strong point for Apple because Apple is not as popular as Disney. So if you wanted to, you really could leave them separate. You could have a package. In that package, I would definitely leave Disney and Apple as two separate things because people know them as two separate things.
Yes.
But you can slide in some of those Apple exclusives into the Disney stuff. Like whether it's out of season or you know what I mean, kind of like a not a trial package, but like What's Now on Apple or something like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they can do little things like that to entice the consumer. But it I think buyout is kind of a strong word. I don't think they would necessarily buy them out. I think it would be more so like a merger of the two companies.
Mm.
Um, but they would be we really own you. Wait, what's my man's what's the Friday thing? Um uh
Wait.
we act like it's both ours, but
Oh
really
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah. He was like, yeah. We just keep like the bike is both of ours, but we just keep it down at my house.
yeah,
All
yeah,
right,
that's,
cool.
yeah, yeah, that's Apple. You know what I'm saying? Like, the company Disney is both of ours, but really is mine. And we just keep it at my house. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? I think it'll be dealt like that. That way they can get double stocks off of two different things.
Yeah.
But but like Noto said, there's I don't see a real negative to them buying out Disney. And Disney was already a staple in the first place, which is kind of weird to think about that they would like be looking to have somebody buy them out when they're the big staple, Like
Right.
they like it was Disney and Universal. And Disney was always doing better than Universal, but if you really think about it, Universal is owned by Viacom anyway. So
Right.
and it's just weird to hear like Disney shopping for somebody to buy them. That's just like a mega corporation, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
In different countries has whole theme parks. The reason why people from other countries come to your country specifically to go to Disney World. What do they say at the end of the football games? I'm going to
Go to
Disney
Disney
World.
World.
Yep.
I'm finna get bought. Like that's
Like,
weird.
say what?
Yeah. So, but overall, I think I won't say I think it's a good idea, but I would much rather out of any of those other companies that we named off, I would definitely want Apple because, like Noto said, it's just the stability of Apple. Whether you like them or not, they stand by their products like 100%, even if it's garbage. Like they gonna give you a season 2 and a season 3 before they like
Yep.
we're gonna phase this out. Like,
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
how long the iPod was around? Yeah, enough said. Do they still make?
Yeah.
I feel like they still even make iPods.
They just stopped 2021 or 2. It was the end of 21, I believe.
So it's not even that long ago, and like the function of an iPod is not even necessary at this point. Like,
Exactly.
Yes, seriously.
so
Our phones is our iPods. Like,
you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
everything is our iPod at this point. But like it's just like I said, they stand by their product. And Apple is really good with that. They're good at stepping out of the box, figuring out a new lane to enter for whatever thing that they own. So I think overall it's a good idea if that's who's gonna buy them.
Yeah. No, I agree. I feel like there's a lot more pros than cons with this idea. From what we can see outside looking in, I can actually see that being a smart situation. Now, as far as Hulu's concerned, I heard actually Disney is about to lose Hulu, so that will be possibly the thought process in why it's okay to do this. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's worse for Hulu, to be honest with you, because
Yeah.
all the Fox stuff is all on Hulu too, not just like some of the Disney stuff. Yeah, they got the other shows, but like
Fox is probably one of their biggest, like FX, like you know what I mean, like
and if that's gone, like I can't see anybody being like, "Yo, I'm picking up Hulu. I get all these Fox stuff," and they like, "Well," you're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna still pick it up because it's still gonna be successful."
Right. Yeah, man. So I mean that's rumored. I'm not sure if that's an actual fact. You know, that would be
That would really suck.
That would suck. That would suck. But I can still see Disney having benefits with Apple. Even what's funny is, as I thought about it when you said something about the parks, I actually can see benefits with Apple products in the parks. Like there's so many.
They would definitely attach something with that.
Oh man, like you know those. When the last time you been to Disney?
Oh, I was in the '90s. Mine was a long time ago.
Oh damn.
I know you're talking about.
But the interactive,
the interactive bands and stuff. Yeah. I mean, there's so much they can do with that. Some of the stuff that's in Epcot or whatever like that. Yeah, Epcot. Some of the interaction situations with that. I mean, there's so much they can do, especially since they had a flop with that Disney Star Wars spaceship thingamajigger or whatever that was.
That's crazy to me. I like that one.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy? It just flopped immediately.
Yeah,
like
it didn't do well.
I'm like, wow. But I feel like if you know, maybe they do something similar to that and use Apple to help, you know, they could make something, you know, a little more.
It's crazy because Apple just had that. They call it a keynote, and they just had the keynote for their AR technology, which is literally like a Mac computer and an AR device. I definitely want one. I showed my mom one, but anyway, the point I was getting at is that they can use even the smallest piece of that technology to build into, for their glasses, or you know, like you guys said, kind of like the watch apparatus type deal, and have some sort of interconnectivity. And Apple's not really shy to share. So even if you didn't have like an Apple Watch, you know, you got some off-brand something, you know, they would just give you a QR code. And like you would still be a part of all the fun. So and here's the biggest one though. I know Vito's all over this though. What's the show Foundation? So now you're looking at a situation where the makers of Foundation now have a camp that they can use in LucasArts. So now it's like, okay.
That was literally my next point.
My bad.
No, you gotta keep it going.
Foundation people can work on either a series for Star Wars, or they can work on a Star Wars movie themselves without having to be an episode. And the people who did like the good Star Wars series and stuff like that, or even Vision, because I can see Apple really pushing hard on Vision, making these ideas and stuff like that. I think that would be actually the real like power move if you really wanted to step on Netflix's toes hard. Gotcha.
Oh yeah. Exactly.
I think that's the move, especially when they're coming out with we just looked at the trailer. What's his name?
Hold on. Who?
The DC guy. What's his name? Zack Snyder.
Yeah. Rebel Moon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That would be that old. Like people would be like, "Dang, Rebel Moon," and then Apple would be like, "Oh yeah, but we got Foundation working on this new Star Wars stuff. Check this out, though." They'd be like, "Wasn't there something? I feel like there was something else that was supposed to." Maybe not. Maybe I was thinking of this show.
I could see them. I could see like the Foundation people definitely working on some Star Wars. I wouldn't want them to combine it, but because I feel like the Foundation is episode 2 came out of season 2 today, so I gotta watch that as well after I'm done. But it's so, man, it's Sandstorm, you know what's up. That thing is crazy, man. Honestly, I can see it being its own standalone situation in Disney if they do that, like have its own part of the park or something like that. You know what I mean? So we'll see. You know, we'll see what they're doing, and if they're really considering about doing that. That's not the only company, I'm sure, that's on the table to possibly buy out Disney or whatever the situation may be.
Yeah.
There's
but
gonna be some fighters in there. There's
Oh
definitely
yeah,
some
oh yeah, oh yeah. Man, we talking about your childhood and everybody else's childhood coming to you.
Don't pretend like Amazon or Google are like just gonna be like, oh, Apple wants to buy. Okay, like you got like Samsung and the rest of these. No, please. They're like
Yeah.
Disney. Hey, put all the money down on that.
All of it.
All of it. Yo, we only got 100. All of it.
Everything on money.
Yeah, yeah.
What's the little tennis, the little paddle boards? Put your hand up. Put your hand up. You got to put your hand down before you put it back up. I know, but you told me not to put my hand down.
Look here, do like this.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh man, but yeah, so definitely, man, we'll see what's going on with them next. Speaking of Hulu and Disney, Bleach Part 2 has been releasing. I think there's two episodes out right now for that Part 2. So have you guys caught any of it yet?
So, did they come out together or they came out separate?
Separate. It's a weekly. It's a weekly
Okay,
thing.
so I haven't watched episode 2, which is okay. Or maybe I did. Yeah, I did. Noto, you want to go first?
You can go.
Okay.
I got nothing on this one.
Okay. So they started up right where they left off. Well, obviously because it's a part 2.
Right.
I want to say this as a disclaimer. I do love the fact that they finished up the whole series before the manga. I want to say they finished up the manga before working on this because that means we get no filler, which is really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The problem of it all is that all of this is still getting kind of rushed. Like this manga was actually really, really long, and we're already on the 9 days part. Like that to me says like y'all kind of just want to get this over with. Like this was strictly a fan service. I don't think y'all really wanted to finish this in the first place.
Right.
Like had it been 306, I think it's 364, the original 364 episodes, y'all would have left it like that and would have been like, yeah, go read if you want the rest of the information, go read the rest of the book. Like,
right.
But with that being said, anime in general has really stepped up in just the visual quality and fidelity of how it's being presented. I love part one. Part one went hard.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, and 2 looks like it's going to be carrying on with the same sentiments.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and where was I going to go with this? I think that because they are moving fast, I think that's also the reason why is because they there's a lot to put into this, and they're like, no, we kind of can't put everything in that the manga is kind of entailing, but we still want to get in like the real core pieces, the parts that you really want to see.
Yeah.
So overall, like it's been like this has been a good year for anime, and the fact that Bleach came back and now it's back again some months later, this is one of my favorite animes. One thing I do want to say too, that I've at first when I first watched Bleach, I was like, this is the stupidest thing ever. But now when I watch it, it's so like out of my head, and every time I think about it, I'm like, yo, like I like how cocky he is. I absolutely, when we started, I absolutely hated that they always explain their abilities. Like, yo, that's your enemy. Why are you explaining to
me
this
too.
man how you gonna wreck him? Like, there's
right.
no explanation as to why your Zanpakuto did what it did. Like, why you giving away your secret?
The strings that I attached that you did not see when I went behind your back, and then I did a nice thrust.
Like, why would you? To do it again. Why are you telling him that? Now he knows. Like, but now, like when I hear it, and they're like, "Oh, we combine this and this to make this, and that's why we do this." Even though they've kind of like gotten smart, and like, "Oh, see, that's how you do it, so that's how I'm going." I'm still like, "Yo, my man's was cocky enough," and I think who does Heineko? Heineko roar. Oh, I can't think of her name. Um, she's even like, "Are you listening?" Well, I wasn't gonna tell you this, but I'm gonna tell you this anyway. And I'm like, "Yo, that's kind of cocky." Like,
Right.
Facts.
Right.
Tell him how you gonna whoop him. Tell you how you gonna whoop him. I kind of like it now, but I just think it's funny that it's still a thing. I thought it was just like of the era. I thought it was like, okay, this is a new show, so they're explaining really to the viewer, not to the enemy. But then as you go on, you're like, no, they're explaining it to the enemy, not the viewer. And the enemy, like, half of the time, they either get it and really get it, or they don't get it and still get smashed. And you're like, bro, she really just told you the whole thing. How did you not see that coming? So, yeah, that's my soapbox for the moment. But yeah, I love the new episodes. They're great.
Hey, that part right there. Honestly, that's to me. It used to get on my nerves all the talking. Like stop talking. Like I want you to do, like hit him. Like, and they be standing there like this, just floating and stuff. What I'm going to do to you now? Like what?
Dude, like just hit him, flick him off, something, please. Like.
So, but the way I looked at it though, when I actually started thinking about it and thinking about our childhoods and the stuff that came before, if you look at your Super Sentai. They would do the same exact thing. They would be sitting up here talking. Yeah, I'm going to da-da-da-da with the da-da-da. Like, what? Why are you talking? Just
do it.
Guys, come together. We're all on the floor. What a bad guy.
Just waiting for them to connect. like when they were like, yeah, let's put our weapons in, when they had a super blast or whatever. Let's put the weapons together, guys. Shoo, shoo, shoo. They find it. Dude, why you didn't attack them?
Before they shoot.
Right. Like the Ginyu Force. Like, the Ginyu Force pose.
Yes.
My man's kind of ran behind the tree with that kind of
Wait, with the fireworks that pop off in the back. Like, bro, are you kidding me? Dude, we could have been done by now. What? Like, that's why I love Godzilla, because he don't talk. He just get to it. He go, that's his talking. That's all that stuff, and then he just start getting into it. He don't talk. But
I'm about to let out fire on you. I'm about to hit you with this tail. Watch this. He didn't catch that. He didn't know what you were saying. He didn't catch that.
But he does give you a warning though. Them damn scales start growing. Oh no! Either you gonna move or you gonna sit there and take it. So, but yeah, man, that's I think that's Japanese culture in general, man. They gotta explain what's going down, because you think about Pokemon, you think about Yu-Gi-Oh, you think about Beyblades out of all things. You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you explaining how a top is spinning and how it's gonna hit? Oh, it's reverse spinning now, and this has the
reverse spinning. It slows down for it.
But that's it's cool, because there is stuff that happens. You're like, wait, why did that just happen? You know what I'm saying? So it does make sense. And but as far as Bleach goes and stuff, man, I'm excited for this part 2, man. Have not checked out the second episode fully yet. I kind of started it, then I had to go do something, but definitely, man.
It turns up. It turns
And I
on.
honestly, what I do is I don't read the mangas. Like I could be reading the super mangas right now for Dragon Ball, but I'm like, nope. I want to wait until the anime comes out. I think I want to watch it first, and then because I don't want to sit up here and be like reading it and be like, oh, I want to know how it looks like on the screen. That ruin. It's almost like telling me the story before I see. I'm one of those people. Don't tell me what's going on before I go into what I'm about to see, because then it kind of ruins the surprise.
Sometimes they miss out on like complete parts, and you're like, wait, y'all forgot this.
That?
Yeah.
Watching it first and then reading it, you're like, oh, okay. So there's like little tidbits in here. Now it turns into tidbits. Ooh, extra little tidbits in there.
Yeah. So, before we wrap everything up, what is a anime that you're waiting to see to come out? And there's something I wanted to ask you guys about Ragnarok. Okay, Record of Ragnarok.
Record of Ragnarok.
Have you guys are you caught up with the season 2?
Finish the whole thing.
All right. We're okay. So at the end of it, all right. So the one that you ended up with, right? Did Buddha fight, right?
Yeah, he fought. He did the whole thing.
Okay. When did those episodes come out?
Oh, not too. The actual airing of them, or when Netflix put them on.
Yeah, when Netflix actually put them on.
I want to say it was like 2 weeks ago.
Cause I thought I was tripping. I thought I was literally tripping. Cause I finished it too, but I thought it ended I thought that second season ended with Buddha talking about, oh, I'm about to fight for the humans, and then out of nowhere I'm cruising through Netflix. I see new episodes. I'm like, wait, hold on. I was like, they got a new season? I didn't know. I was like, wait a minute. And so then I went back and I saw. I was like, no. There's some more episodes right here. And I'm like, when did this come out? I'm not tripping.
It's not season 2. They just extended the first.
Yeah, they extended the first. Yeah, almost like they part 2, like Bleach.
Yeah,
or whatever.
it's kind of stupid. They did it there's another show on there, the Shaman King.
Yeah, they did the same thing. They did the same thing.
They don't give them a full dedicated season. They just give them here's this portion of a really big fight that you're gonna watch, because that's basically all it is. It's all just Buddha's fighting. It's not anything after that or anything. So, I guess that speeds up the process to keep the show going overall, so you don't have to wait till next year for a full season. But I'm that fight was amazing. But
this whole season,
here.
This whole season, they only had 2 big fights, and that was the Hercules one and what's my other dude?
Hercules, Jack the Ripper, and Hercules versus Jack the Ripper, and
Shiva versus the sumo guy. Yeah. Those were some epic fights. So for that to be the second season, I can see them saying, okay, now we gonna finish off with the Buddha, you know what I'm saying, and give us three big fights. So you know what I mean, that was pretty dope. But I just didn't realize it came out. And I looked and I was like, oh, whoa, hold up. So now, I guess they're amping up for season 3 now.
Yeah.
Okay. That's gonna be interesting because who just came? Hades. Yeah, Hades just came in that thing. Yeah.
Hades stood up and was talking a whole lot, and I'm like, oh, you actually gonna fight, or we are? Well, I don't want to ruin it for anybody who hasn't seen it, so I can't talk in detail about what happened with the whole Buddha thing. But it was you really gonna try and pretend nonchalantly you're not a part of this, or what's up? Because we all know you are. Just the way you entered at the time of arrival was kind of already skeptical in the first place, and everybody was like, "Did you have anything to do with this?" And he's like,
"No, he was just down. He's been down there this whole time. I just wanted to come see the fight." No, bro, really?
I just got here, and this happened. Whoa, what happened? I'm confused too. Okay.
Yeah, man. So, no. What's some new stuff that you've been patiently waiting on or watching?
right now, the one thing I'm patiently waiting right now, and I'm trying to prevent not to read the manga, is the Rise of Shield Hero season 3, the third season for that. So
Okay.
that's supposed to be coming out, I believe, for the fall, which is like just almost around the corner. But right now, the anime I am actually looking. There's a lot, and I had a discussion with someone before that like we're going through a whole nother mess of like isekais all over the board, and it's like crazy. But one stood out the most to me is Zom 100, A Bucket List of the Dead.
Okay.
That is words can I even describe how funny and great this anime is, because take this for a prime example. The first episode, and how my friend explained it, like he said halfway, when you get halfway into the anime, it goes from 0 to 100 really fast, and you'd be like, what the freak is going on? But it's hilarious at the exact same time.
Yeah.
All I know is that the main character basically, he starts off like, working this company whatsoever, and he's like, oh yeah, in rugby, went to Tokyo University, different stuff like that, and go to a party with someone's like, yeah, it's like, oh, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I was like, oh yeah. That was done. They just go into overtime, just work overtime every single day, just constantly.
Yeah.
And for 3 years straight, he's been doing that. And he's like, the one day he's like, I don't want to go to work. I really don't want to go to work. I don't want to. It's like, I just, hate my job. I just hate it. So he walks outside, and then all of a sudden, a zombie apocalypse.
Wow.
And he's like, wait. And like the trailer, he says, like, wait, this is a zombie apocalypse. Wait, it's a zombie apocalypse. It's a zombie apocalypse. Yeah. Oh, I don't want to go to work. Yeah. And it's literally watching him just acting like a complete fool, having a blast, just running from the zombies, just like it don't even care. Like his life is on the line, but you're happy because you don't have to go to work forever. Just your life is running around. But it is hilarious. I love it. It. Like I said, when they went from that 0 to 100, I was just like, are you freaking serious? So, yeah. So it's already 2 episodes in. The third episode doesn't come out Sunday, so I can't wait to see what's going to happen in the third episode. But that's definitely one. And the other one I'm watching, which I kind of was waiting for the second part to, The Devil's a Part-Timer, the second season, part 2. Because they left a lot of good questions, a lot of questions that need to be answered at the end of the first part, and now we're getting the second part because we're learning more about the 2 main characters, a little bit more of their past, a little bit deeper of their past, which I'm intrigued with, and some other stuff that's going on. So those are really the biggest things that are catching my attention right now. All the other stuff I'm watching is just like there's season 2s and interesting ones, and why the hell is there a giant cat that can freaking is a genius who can actually cook and clean and go to the store and different I have a lot of lists. I'm looking at the list right now on my other monitor, so there's some good stuff in here. I know I'm still waiting for the Nier Automata anime because apparently it was out, then they had to put it on pause because of COVID and everything. And so now it's starting to be back into production and still running. So I think they're still trying to finish up the episodes for that as well. So I'm waiting for that to finish so I can just finish through it and just easily.
Okay.
So,
cool.
Because I just want to see see it from not the video game perspective, but see it from the anime perspective for once.
Yeah, that's what's up. All right. So next live that we have, not next week, but next live that we have, we're gonna go even further into our anime situation, our anime talk. Next live is going to be dedicated to anime. So if anybody out there is watching that wants to contribute something or kind of talk about something in our Twitters or something like that, a conversation point of animes that you are waiting to see, wanting to see, or just wanting to talk about, what's been cool, what's been grabbing your eye, hit us up on Twitter, hit that comment section up down on this video, and then we'll just have a blast. Then we'll look at some of those suggestions and conversation points, and we will just go ahead and just geek out on our animes. And hopefully next week I had something special for that Vito variants because I was supposed to be doing it this week, but it didn't work out. So, but stay tuned for Vito variants next week. I got something special, something I haven't done before. Even though I know I said I was gonna do my normal format, I'm gonna change it up. But before we get out of here, Noto, pimp out your what's going on, what's happening, what you got coming. Then Sandstorm, then you'll do the same thing, and we'll wrap it up.
All right, so basically, what's going on? Like I said, I'm still working on Valkyrie profile. I just had a little dilemma at the moment, so I have to fix the problem. So I think I'm just gonna look into that. So I have this new project I have done as a test run Monday. So now my new thing is actually I'm doing as you can see in the background, my room there is a DDR pad, clearly.
Yeah, you were sweating. That was a workout.
Yeah, Vito saw the whole thing, saw me, my fiance was actually working on it. So basically, which I call her the special guest because she is a special guest. I don't like whatsoever. But so I basically it's basically called DDR workout. So basically, I'm using my computer to run Dance Dance Revolution basically on the computer with my fourth monitor. I finally found my tripod, which I couldn't figure out where it was, but we're doing that on Mondays now. So I'll be doing that for like around 3:30 to like maybe 5 or 6, basically. Go do some old DDR songs from like Butterfly and all this stuff like that from DDR1 to like the newer ones, which is A3, and some other little tidbits of surprises in there. As me playing it and my fiance going in at the same time. There's that. Tuesdays and Wednesday, I just finally finished The Secret of Evermore, so that is now done. I was going to do The Illusion of Gaia, but I actually decided to do a little surprise, and instead, I will be streaming Chrono Trigger instead.
Oh.
Yes, on the PlayStation, actually, on my PS3. So I found a little part to stream it on there, so it's already been announced, and I will be starting that up on Tuesdays and Wednesdays to replace. And like I said, Valkyrie Profile is still Thursdays to Saturdays, so I'm still trying to work on beating that. I'm only in chapter 6, barely still in the beginning, like kind of early in 6. So I got 2 more chapters to go through, and I'm pretty much done with that. And I'll figure out my next game. But you can guys follow me on Twitter. You can Twitter, YouTube as well by my name, Noto Yui. Also, you can message me on Twitter as well. So check me out.
All right, Storm.
All right, so we have the Stormcast tomorrow. We were actually supposed to have a couple guests on there, and a couple guests turned into a singular guest, and our singular guest actually got sick.
Oh.
So we are going to change up the topic. I have a topic in mind, but I'm trying to see if I can get one of my Winging It brothers on here as well, so we can kind of have that topic because I feel like he would be really good for it. But we normally have Stormcast at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. The one next week will be at 7 o'clock. One of our
Yeah, you're going in and out.
Okay, I thought I broke one of my guests. Okay. That must be my internet. One of my guests are moving over to next week, so hopefully we can get them solid for next week. And then Sundays we have the Winging It podcast at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the Winging It podcast channel. And then Monday we also have the Juice is Loose podcast at 7 o'clock on Terminate Juice's podcast as well, where both podcasts we talk about a whole bunch of controversial stuff and go back and forth at each other and laugh and make fun of companies and die hard for each of those companies. So yeah, all fun. Last thing, we are starting a giveaway because I've gotten official confirmation finally on my RAM. So I will be giving away my 16 gigabytes of DDR 3200 DDR4 Corsair Vengeance Pro RAM to a lucky winner. I just kind of have to start that. Maybe I'll just start it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And somebody can win their chance if they are building a PC to be able to win some free RAM. That is kind of sort of up to date, but not now because they're on DDR5. But it's still very good RAM, and it's done me a lot. Done me well. I just needed to upgrade. So Yeah. Make sure you stay tuned for that. And other than that, that's all I got.
All right, sounds good. So next week, guys, definitely stay tuned for the Vitoverse. I'm basically kind of go over some movies that I've watched so far that we've covered here on this channel as far as the trailers or whatever. So I'm gonna just kind of just briefly go over each movie next week and tell you which ones are trash, and a lot of them were. And we'll see you next week, guys. So stay tuned, guys. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah.